On a pivotal Thursday morning, the United States Supreme Court delivered a unanimous decision that would reverberate throughout the legal and political landscape. The nation watched closely as the highest court in the land weighed in on a matter of historic significance, one that had captured headlines and sparked debate across the country. The emergency appeal application was denied without hesitation, a move that signaled the justices' collective resolve. The paperwork, stamped "denied," marked the end of a frantic legal scramble that had played out in the days leading up to the decision. All 9 justices agreed, no dissents, no explanations, sending a clear and unmistakable message that the legal arguments to block Melania Trump's testimony were unconvincing. The rare unanimity among the justices left no room for ambiguity or further challenge. This ruling brought a definitive end to the legal battle to prevent the former First Lady from testifying before a grand jury in the special counsel investigation. The courtroom drama, filled with urgent motions and heated arguments, was now over. With the Supreme Court's refusal to intervene, the path is now clear for her to appear and share her evidence under oath. The doors to the courthouse are open, and the witness stand awaits her testimony. The defense team's last avenue of appeal is closed. Their efforts to shield Melania Trump from the grand jury have reached a dead end, leaving them to regroup and reconsider their strategy. The focus now shifts from legal wrangling to the substance of Melania Trump's testimony. Reporters and legal analysts are already speculating about what she might reveal, and how her words could impact the ongoing investigation. The court's action reaffirms the principle that the spouse who would testify holds the power to assert or waive spousal privilege. This decision not only clarifies the law but also sets a precedent for future cases involving high-profile witnesses and sensitive testimony. The decision, coming from a court with diverse perspectives and backgrounds, underscores the strength of the legal precedent at play. It demonstrates the justices' commitment to upholding the rule of law, regardless of the individuals involved. Now, for the first time in American history, a former First Lady is set to provide evidence in a case involving her husband. The moment is unprecedented, and its implications are being felt far beyond the courtroom. The stage is set for the grand jury to hear what Melania Trump knows. As the nation waits, the next chapter in this extraordinary legal saga is about to unfold. To truly grasp the significance of Melania Trump's decision, it's important to first understand the concept of spousal privilege. This is a unique legal protection in the United States that generally prevents one spouse from being compelled to testify against the other in a court of law. The idea behind this privilege is to preserve the sanctity and trust of marriage, recognizing that forcing spouses to testify could damage their relationship and undermine the privacy that marriage is meant to protect. Spousal privilege actually has 2 distinct parts. The first is testimonial privilege, which allows a spouse to refuse to take the witness stand against their partner. The second is marital communications privilege, which protects private conversations between spouses from being revealed in court, even if one spouse wants to share them. Both are designed to shield the intimate details of a marriage from public scrutiny. However, in a landmark 1980 decision, the Supreme Court clarified that only the spouse who is called as a witness has the right to decide whether to testify or not. This means the privilege belongs to the witness spouse, not the defendant. In Melania Trump's case, this means she alone had the authority to waive the privilege, regardless of her husband's wishes or the defense's strategy. The decision was entirely hers to make, and no one could force her hand. Her legal team publicly confirmed that Melania made this choice of her own free will, emphasizing that she was not coerced or pressured by prosecutors or outside parties. By voluntarily waiving her spousal privilege, Melania became a willing and active witness for the prosecution, opening the door for her testimony to be used in court. This single move effectively dismantled the defense's main argument to keep her off the witness stand, leaving them scrambling for alternatives. Once a spouse waives this privilege, it's nearly impossible to reclaim it. The decision is final, and the legal door is now open for her testimony to be fully considered. Now, instead of facing the challenge of a reluctant or silent witness, prosecutors have gained a cooperative insider with first-hand knowledge of key events. Melania's decision sent shockwaves through the defense team, triggering a frantic and ultimately unsuccessful appeal to the Supreme Court in hopes of reversing her waiver. Her choice to waive spousal privilege set off a chain reaction, dramatically shifting the legal landscape and setting everything else in motion. 72 hours before the Supreme Court's highly anticipated ruling, a pivotal move was made behind closed doors, one that would send shockwaves through the legal community and the public alike. Melania Trump's legal team submitted a proffer agreement, a formal binding preview of the evidence she was willing to provide to federal prosecutors. This was not just a routine filing, it was a calculated step that signaled a dramatic shift in the case's trajectory. The document meticulously outlined what she knew, what she had witnessed, and what she was prepared to say under oath if called to testify. Every detail was scrutinized, every claim backed by documentation or corroboration. The proffer agreement was more than a gesture. It was a declaration of her serious intent to cooperate, providing prosecutors with a clear, strategic roadmap of her potential testimony and the evidence she could bring to light. It specified 3 distinct categories of evidence: financial records that could reveal hidden transactions, communications that might expose key conversations, and corroborating testimony from other witnesses or documents. This was no longer speculation or rumor. Her cooperation was now a matter of public record, making headlines and raising the stakes for everyone involved. The agreement demonstrated that she possessed firsthand, concrete evidence directly relevant to the grand jury's ongoing investigation, evidence that could potentially alter the course of the proceedings. By stepping forward, Melania Trump transformed her role from a peripheral figure on the sidelines to a central, indispensable witness whose testimony could shape the outcome of the case. The proffer agreement became the bedrock for the legal drama that would soon unfold, setting the stage for a high-stakes battle in the courtroom and in the court of public opinion. For the defense, this moment marked a point of no return, a challenge that would require a complete reassessment of their strategy and a race against time to respond. The submission of this agreement didn't just move the case forward, it accelerated the entire process, intensifying the pressure on all sides and ensuring that the next 72 hours would be some of the most consequential in recent legal history. Melania Trump's proffer agreement detailed 3 powerful types of evidence. First, financial records. She's prepared to testify about her knowledge of property valuations and her role in signing joint tax returns from 2014 to 2020. Second, communications. She can provide text messages and emails with accountants, and even recorded phone calls discussing property values and loans. Third, corroboration. Her testimony aligns with statements from other key witnesses, strengthening the prosecution's case. Her evidence could elevate charges like falsifying business records or bank fraud. Most critically, she reportedly witnessed a March 2020 phone call about coordinating false information. If true, this could support a conspiracy charge, often more serious than the underlying offenses. Her testimony could be the missing link that ties the case together. The grand jury now has access to evidence that could reshape the entire investigation. The legal showdown unfolded in just 72 hours. Monday. Melania Trump's attorney submitted the proffer agreement, officially offering her cooperation. Tuesday. The defense filed an emergency appeal directly to the Supreme Court, seeking to block her testimony. They argued that allowing her to testify would cause irreparable harm. Wednesday. The Supreme Court declined to issue a temporary stay, signaling skepticism toward the defense's claims. The special counsel's plans moved forward as the appeal was pending. Thursday morning, the Supreme Court issued its final order. Application denied. The decision was unanimous with no written dissents. The defense's last option was gone. The path was now clear for Melania Trump to testify before the grand jury. The defense's emergency appeal to the Supreme Court relied on 3 main arguments, all rejected. First, they claimed a constitutional right to marital privacy, but precedent says the witness spouse controls the privilege. The Supreme Court's 1980 Trammell decision made that clear. Second, they alleged Melania Trump was coerced, but her own attorney submitted a sworn statement confirming her cooperation was voluntary. This destroyed the defense's claim of coercion. Third, they argued the testimony would set a dangerous precedent, but the court saw no reason to revisit established law. The justices' unanimous denial left no room for doubt. The defense's arguments collapsed under legal scrutiny. The Supreme Court's order ended the fight to block her testimony. With the Supreme Court's denial, Melania Trump could be called to testify before the grand jury within days. Her appearance will be behind closed doors, but her testimony is expected to be pivotal. Prosecutors can use her evidence to strengthen existing charges or pursue new ones, including conspiracy. Her first-hand accounts of financial documents and conversations could be the direct evidence needed. If the grand jury issues an indictment, she may be called again at a public trial. Her credibility and evidence would then be tested under cross-examination. The Supreme Court's decision has set in motion a chain of events that could reshape the case. Melania Trump's testimony is now central to the investigation. The legal and political stakes have never been higher. This story is grounded in official court records, not rumors or leaks. The Supreme Court's ruling, the proffer agreement, and the failed defense arguments are all matters of public record. The timing is critical. The defendant faces a cabinet-level confirmation hearing in just weeks. The prospect of a nominee under grand jury investigation with his wife as a key witness is unprecedented. This case is a real-world lesson in the rule of law and the principle that no one is above it. The Supreme Court's decision marks a watershed moment, law, family, and politics colliding in the public eye. Melania Trump's voluntary testimony could reshape the legal and political landscape. As the investigation unfolds, its consequences will be felt far beyond the courtroom.